Hey, Planet Snoop. Hammer Sickle 59 back at it again. Let's see, I'm going to try to do this hopefully fairly short reply video to this feed. Uh, okay, Think Hentagon, we talked about, everything that this comment implied. Let's just go over the details. I mean, a lot of these, like Stunning Bull and stuff, there's just a basic disagreement about what counts as in-game ethics versus out-game. And again, when I'm using diplomacy in my messaging system, I'm speaking as my commander in-game, trying to improve my position. Deception is obviously allowed since it's not explicitly against the rules, and I assume everyone's using that same mentality. Now, obviously, there's a different culture here on this website based on reputation and enforced from the outside, yada yada, right? But that's part of my point, right? And this is partly my fault when I simply ask and I get feedback on the strategy. I guess I could have been more specific. My point here is look, if something's not against the rules, what is the ideal way of handling a strategy you don't like but is not against the rules? Well, I would say, and this is for many reasons, you handle it in game, with in game responses, not outside the game on forums like metagaming where you're trying to, etc. Um, expose them or even have them prevent them from playing other games, etc. So that's my position. It's not like I'm trying to hide that I've backstabbed. But I will say this, though. The oversimplification of all of this is insane. So the idea like, oh, I just can't be trusted. Well, that's one way of looking at it. It's not exactly very detailed. That's very low resolution, right? And if you want to stick to a low resolution picture like that, you're not going to get very good results. But anyhow, how you should look at it is how it actually is, which is, well, I selectively betray people depending upon complex factors. The setup, the whose combos work better together. Who do I get along with better? Um, the manner in which we communicate, for example, Discord, Zoom, those are all better mediums for communicating complex strategy, for getting a sense of skill, etc. Right? So there's so many factors that go into who I'm going to ally with, if there's going to be deception, etc. And something else I'll point out is that enforcing all of this from the outside, what you're essentially saying is, look, we don't tolerate, we just don't tolerate any kind of breaking of treaty or deception. And we're going to enforce that from the outside, and therefore it should actually be against the rules, right? I mean, you're essentially, I mean, yeah, I won't name his name, but you can look in the thread. He's re-promised to message all of my any new sector I join. He will be messaging them about me. That's fine. What would be, what would be the equivalent action on my end? So applying the same moral principle, which is the following. I'm going to um, target on the forums socially anyone who plays in a manner that I don't like, even though it's not against the rules. So applying that, I could do it to all kinds of things, right? I could say like, oh, whatever, I just don't like Borg players, or I could say, um, I don't like people who are too easily trusting, and so we can call them marks, we can call them dupes. Should I then message everyone on the forum saying, hey, this guy's a dupe, everyone, get your free trade, betrayal in because he'll fall for anything? No, that would be a dick. I don't do that, even though I think, should they play that way? No, I think they should be more cautious. I think relationships should be more realistic and complex. I think trust needs to be built up. I think relationships need to be maintained. Um, and God, a lot of these comments, I'm not going to go on them one by one. I realize now it's just they don't even have a sense for the complexity of the decision making, right? It's like, okay, trust is one factor, one metric. You have to consider other factors, right? So, I mean, if you don't want to consider other factors, like I said, if you want this low resolution analysis, where it's like, okay, write him off. Never ally with him. Okay, that's fine. Then you might have lost a position for first place, second place, whatever. Good tech, whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter. But let's move on. Maybe I'll address some of these specific things. Again, Scanders, it's just in-game, out-game ethic, just not understanding. And again, not understanding analogical reasoning either. It's just they're giving real-life examples as if it affects somehow my in-game decisions. Tom Graves, thanks for your information on your commander. My commander has noted it. Okay, hopefully it's noted it in a complex way, not this simple, like, I mean, my anticipation is like, okay, he'll never trade with me or ally with me under any circumstance. That's my understanding of essentially what he's saying. Which, if that's the case, I wouldn't want him as an ally anyway. See, that's part of it. It's like, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy at that point, right? Because you join the game, and people who think in that sort of simplistic way, you don't want them as allies anyways. It's just not, they're not going to benefit you very much. I mean, but anyhow, let's go on. People think I'm trying to stroke my ego here. I should post on Reddit. Again, so let's see. Thing is, doesn't matter what your reasons were. Again, he seemed my reasons were for what? Betraying? There's so much. I guess I should have posted a more specific context for my question. But yeah. See, here's what I mean. This oversimplification, Tom Graves. If you want to play a game where you can't be trusted, interesting, can't be trusted. Because I could go back into my game history and I could tell you, like, maybe 14 of my 17 alliances have been perfectly fine with no betrayal. So can't be trusted. That's not a very so low resolution. I guess what you mean is if there's any chance of betrayal, and if we ignore all other factors of like fucking 40, 50 other factors, right? I mean, like literally, it just doesn't. Anyhow, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I got my responses, yeah, which is that some people think in an overly simplistic way and are used to this. Whatever. I shouldn't get irritated. I've had a couple beers since I got home, so. Okay. Let's see. This was actually useful information, Commander Koski. This is good information here. Although again, it's so all of this is so context dependent, right? I mean, these numbers, they're good for what? Like, here's the thing. If I can count on my allies, like the EE this game and the Fury, then essentially those ships and star bases might as well be mine, right? In terms of they're fighting the right people, they're fighting the enemies. I mean, your solo numbers matter, but context dependent, obviously. I guess I would rather take I'm not sure how my numbers matched up to these on turn, 27, but I bet you I'd rather take my position rather than someone's numbers who matched up to these in other ways. You know what I mean? It's just a complicated formula. Okay, so anyhow, more of this. I received plenty of feedback. I don't agree with it, so I don't counter this feedback. Not true at all. Not true at all. If it has substance, I'm sorry, some of it doesn't have much substance. Blah blah blah. Yes, I'm openly admitting to breaking treaties in a space war game where breaking treaties is allowed. That's what I'm admitting. Yes, and I do it selectively to people who could have taken countermeasures, but they don't take countermeasures specifically because of this issue, this meta issue of enforcing it from the outside. As a matter of fact, if you didn't enforce it from the outside, people would force to take in-game countermeasures, and they would have more realistic, complex relationships in-game that are more fulfilling. Anyhow, all of my allies have always had a blast. So yeah, these so one-dimensional, send someone a message. You want to be allies? Sure. Okay. Boom. Done. Betrayal is impossible. So I mean, it's pretty much it. That's why people share intel so well and so quickly. But anyhow, and I didn't say this in my summary video, but I will now because I wasn't going to be a dick. But here, okay. Now, Glenn's post. Now, actually, I loved Glenn's post. It actually had a lot of good information, strangely enough. Damn it, I said his name. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so this was interesting. Okay, I'm recognizing home worlds. Number two, okay, I get it, but it's sort of still off point because again, that player I was pointing out ended up not even being one of my main allies. But WebCheck was right. Okay, I partly agree here. In the abstract, robots and pirates can go great together. You know, I don't disagree. But in the context of the game I was in, and then being across the map, and I agree. You're saying, oh well, even across the map, all these things. But I had reasons to get things going early, and I had and okay, here's what I wasn't going to say. I wasn't impressed with his skill level, and that's a huge factor when determining who's going to be your actual, real, long-term ally, right? I wasn't impressed with his skill level this game or the other game that I was in, and I was trying to be nice in the first summary video and not say that, but everyone wants to jump on me, and WebTrack made another snarky comment in this post, so I will say I just wasn't impressed with his skill level, and therefore it was another reason why he was not going to be my long-term ally. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Now, this number 4, I have to hard disagree with, okay? Going after the EE made more sense, okay, on the surface, yeah, keep going. The Fed and Birdmen aren't going to be able to cooperate against Privateer well? Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Birdmen have great tactics against me, and then Feds have Loki, so even better. And the combo together, oh my god. And then I get it, they were already doing the Colonials, but, you know, they were doing well against the Colonials, it sounded like, right? If I didn't do anything, they would have 2v1 the Colonials, and then it would have been Birdman Feds against me. And then you're saying, look at this later, something about you would have known, yeah, he would have been a trusting ally. No. You don't get my point there in the summary video. It's not about him being merely a trusting ally, as in wouldn't betray me. He would have agreed, you're saying, to never build a Loki, for example? Because I don't want to risk it being stolen, captured, whatever, or, you know, would he agree to that? No, then get the F out, you know? I mean, serious. Like, in other words, those were my conditions. I did not want to worry about Loki's spreading, and, you know, to pretend like that was somehow guaranteed, even though he wasn't even my ally. He was a friend of an ally, of a friend of a short-term ally that I was about to betray, but anyhow. So, yeah. Grasping at straws there, sorry. 5. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, I don't think reputation should matter in a sense that, I mean, okay, in other words, if everyone agrees that betrayals are part of the game and it wasn't this huge social reputation BS, yeah, I mean, reputation matters, but you're judging reputation incorrectly. You know, we judge it by different standards. You know, I'm not breaking any rules, so therefore I should be congratulated if I find a clever way to win. But anyhow, so picking a fight over with you, oh my god, always making it personal, and then swearing, of course, to continue to post in all my sectors, whatever, don't care. See, this is the thing. We barely managed to get people to tolerate backstabbing. So that's the thing, as if it needs to be tolerated. Oh, it's like saying we barely get people to tolerate the hissing mission. We barely get to tolerate the pillage mission. It's just so vicious. It's just so vicious. No. Again, it's the in-game, out-game ethic mistake that needs to be there's a schism in this community, and this is a logical thing. This is not a matter of disagreement. You know, like there's no gray area here, you know. This is like, it's not against the rules, but you're harassing and socially shaming people for doing something that's not against the rules. So, okay, whatever. I mean, as if there's a difference between, should championship games play by different rule sets than noob games? No, they shouldn't, actually. That'd be a very, very bad way of doing it. But anyhow, yeah, I explained why I didn't go for a solo win. Because my allies were integral to my win, and blah, blah, blah. Anyhow. And then he goes on to say he supports something that I actually support, and all of my posts imply should be the case. But it's strange that he support this. And interesting, he supports an anonymous sector. Wait, why would he? That's like saying no rep. Oh wait, that's the whole fucking point. Is that rep is being sorry. I just can't help myself. Is that reputation is being abused in these ridiculous ways. So one way to help is just stop doing that. But no, he doesn't see that. He promises to keep doing it, but wants to advocate for an anonymous sector, which he won't be allowed to do that. Okay. The logic is interesting. Carrie Franks here. Thank you. I won't go over the details here. Loved the post. Black Lung. Thank you. Chaka had some interesting input here. He also, I wasn't going to talk about his betrayal, but he did betray the board. I wasn't sure if he'd sent him a message first or not. But, good for him, I say. If everyone wants to target him, I think that sucks. Obviously, like he said, like he pointed out, it's circumstantial. Okay, you know what? Let's just go to what really matters here. Trust, okay? Trust is highly contextual in this game and isn't a matter of someone's innate qualities as a person, of how trusting they are, okay? Why? Because of all of the complex factors in the game, and the fact that you're playing a commander who's trying to, take over other empires and stuff. It's just, yeah, to try to treat it like something else and then impose that on everyone else. Actually, that's something I want to address specifically. Glenn mentioned something about, and then making it explicit that betrayals are okay. You don't need to make that explicit, buddy. It's already explicit. If it's not against the rules, it's okay. And if it helps to improve your position, it should be encouraged, right? It should be encouraged by any objective account that cares about competitive play. Instead of playing The Sims together and sandboxing and patty caking and whatever. Different play styles, different people, I guess. I should stop now. All right, Hammer over and out.